Can you hear us?
Hi.
Can you see us? Yeah, loving the hats. Mine says I've been good.
This isn't good.
Can everyone hear us and see us?
Yep, I hear you.
In Latvia. Sunny California. It's not sunny here.
Who knows?
How is that sunny? It's raining.
It's stormy.
It's overcast. It was raining. Yeah, we said we'd just quickly pop on for a few minutes. Just finished putting the new wheels in my motor. Hi, Mike. Where are we all from? Nice and warm. Yeah, certainly warm, David. I suppose warm for Ireland. Where am I based? I'm in Ireland. The green and red and Mayo, that's where we are. Paul, how you doing? New York? Sheffield. Are you in Sheffield? Sorry to hear that. Norfolk. How rude is that? You're on your phone and you could be talking to people.
Just put it in me.
What are you putting in?
Subscribe to my channel.
There's a name for that. Yes, ho ho ho. John's putting the link into his channel. So everyone go and subscribe. Want to try and get 100 subscribers on his channel, people. Any questions for me? Finland. I'd love to go to Finland. Love to see the Aurora Borealis in Finland. I want to go. Please do more Land Rover 90 mod. I can only do stuff as they come in. Some people just think I can do stuff as and when I can't. I'm not looking at the cameras because I'm looking at my screens, so that's why. If anyone's wondering. Have you done it yet?
Yeah,
Galway. Galway City or County Galway? Can you find an AC unit for 91 Mercedes? The best bet there is going to be a Mercedes specialist or eBay. Have you ever crossed the pond? Which pond do you mean? I want to come to USA too. I would love to, Mike, but as you know, it's not that easy. What are you doing with this? What do you mean, what am I doing with it? In what sense? Have you done it yet? Is it still loading? Yeah, so we're trying to get him to 100 subscribers, people, so there we go. What's the name of your battery tester? Which one? Which battery tester? The one with the printout or the other one? You can see the northern lights. You can see the northern lights in the higher you go in England, but it's still not the same as going to Finland to see them.
I need to react to the musical world which is like the sound song.
What's that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. And I can't see your live feed. I don't know what to say. Unless you, because we're streaming in HD, so maybe bring down the quality, you might be able to see it. The blue one. What have I missed? The blue one. Oh, is he talking about the blue? Have I got a blue one? I don't have a blue one. Do I have a blue one?
It's taking forever to load.
Do you mean that one? County Galway, outside Tuam on the Mayo border. Oh, nuts. Is that the one you mean?
The blue.
Blue. Which blue one?
I don't know.
Battery tester. I don't know which one you mean. Battery tester. You'll have to be more specific.
There we go.
I don't know which blue one you mean. Any questions for me? It tests. It's the test. It tests your. Still don't know. Was it in my last video? Haven't really gone near the escort, David. Haven't had a chance. He's put his link up, everybody. So that's going to fall. That will fall. So yeah, subscribe to his channel. Trying to get him over 100. Can you be a bit more specific on which tester you mean? Because I don't know which one you mean. Battery tester, blue battery tester. I don't know. Yeah, we have Santa hats on. Yeah, it is named after. Come from. Less of that, David. Brendan, should I say? Yeah. Shh, Brendan. 61 subs, that's you. I can give. Just got bloody dripped on. Does your battery not? Yeah, this is what does the battery and alternator. This does battery and alternator. Unless you're talking about the multimeter, but that's not blue. Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Thanks, Brendan.
16 seconds ago.
There we go. I'm looking in my drawer. This tests batteries as well. Is this what you're on about? This is the hubby tool tester. That tests batteries and alternators as well. Is that the one? We were supposed to be tidying up. And instead we're live.
Yeah.
Any questions for me, people? You keep refreshing it. Is that the one you mean? The hubby tool tester? What do they say about a watch clock? Love to see you sharing ABT scan. Fuel change on. I have done kind of videos on long term and short term, just briefly though. But I will be going into it a lot more now I've got this set up. To be honest, it doesn't really. You don't have to do it on a Renault. They're all more or less the same on every car. Should be more or less the same. I like the scope on the rope. You mean this one? Is that the one you mean? That's kind of blue. How are you doing, mate? I'm doing well. How are you doing, Mark? You're very quiet. Why are you very quiet? You're cold. You don't know what cold is. We live now. Huh? Oh, we live now. All right, thanks, Mike. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for subscribing to Sean.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes. Yeah, they always get messy, Simon, no matter what you do. I'm pulling stuff out now and it's getting messy. No. What to say no to?
You said let's go and just pull out the wrong one.
I pulled out the wrong one.
No, that was it.
I don't know which one you're on about then. So I don't know which one you're on about. Hello, Malcolm.
Hello. Pretty cold here too.
Thanks, please. Yeah, if you get a dodgy fuel pump, will it blow the fuse first as a force focus that keeps blowing the fuse? It's a possibility. It depends how it's gone. If it's completely shorted internally, yes, it will blow the fuse straight away. If you've got a broken wire, so if you've got let's say a power wire and it's grounding out, it could blow the fuse as well. But yeah, it's a possibility. The easiest way to find that is you can disconnect the fuel pump from the circuit. The car won't start, but disconnect it, turn the ignition on, fuse, then you know you've narrowed it down to the actual fuse pump itself. But yes, it's certainly a possibility.
Where is the vehicle speed sensor Mark II Ford Focus now?
Vehicle speed sensor, I'm sure on a Mark II Focus, I think that's worked off the ABS, as far as I remember. I'm trying to think now. Yeah, I'm sure it's worked off the ABS sensor. Good. Turn to place to earth. Mines on the gearbox. Poor. You can do it anywhere, really. You can do it on the gearbox. You can do it on the engine. Anywhere there's room, essentially. You can buy extra earth cables, nice and thick ones. Try and stay away from the ones that have the cord over it or the casing over it, because water tends to sit in there and it kind of rots. Just get the ones that are open. But anywhere, really, it doesn't really matter. As long as it's proper metal. Don't obviously earth it on plastic, because that would be no good. Can you, is it, or maybe he means this one. Let's see if I can get this one. I think this is blue, is it? Do you mean that one? Is that the one you mean? Because that is essentially a multimeter. What? Is that the one you mean? Is Luke a good brand? Yeah, LUK, nothing wrong with that. They more or less are OEM sites as well. You know, fantastic clutch kit. Shot working on a 0650 BMW valve gasket covers. Have you done them? I haven't done them on a 650. No, we don't really get that kind of BMW here because people don't want to pay the tax. But I have done BMW valve covers. Yes.
Advice needed. I have a Corsa 1.4.
Good tip. What happens to
XEP.
I want a good tip. What? That's where. Yeah, just get the ones. Just get the ones that are just kind of the metal. There's no casing on. Price needed. Of course, a 1.4. There is a bit of mayo underneath the oil cap, but not losing any coolant. No lack of power. It's done 45 miles. It does 45 miles a day. But does it do 45 miles a day in stop and go traffic? Because some oils do kind of butter up if you don't drive the car kind of properly, in the sense of stop and start, stop and start, stop and start. You need to kind of get the speed up. If you're not losing any, coolant or anything like that. That could just be there. Bidding on something on eBay. Can you just read some of the announcements?
Yeah.
Read them from here.
Hi, your nice response to me the other day really lifted my spirits. Thank you.
Which response? Joe?
Pete Logan said, it's adding LED lights to inside back of van, tapping into interior light circuit, would you fuse them separately, or is interior light fuse different?
It depends what the little, if it's just a little epoxy bulb, or if it's kind of a big light, it just depends. I mean, LEDs don't take as much current as the ordinary lights, but personally what I would do, just because it's quite easy, is just do a separate, a completely separate system, because then if anything happens, you know where your circuit is. I personally would put a separate system in. That's just me. Hiya, Mark. Engines have a bad design PCB. Yeah, they can do, but it's all down to driving as well, David. Yeah, short journeys and certain oils, they just don't like it, and you might think it's a head gasket when it isn't. It's just the way you're driving it.
DPF plugging on a BMW 520D not responding to regens and missing to DPF cleaner. Do you recommend replace or get rid of?
It depends. If you can't do a regen, it means it's too blocked to do a regen. But what you have to find out is why is it doing it? Because a DPF just doesn't block for it just doesn't block for the hell of it. There's always a problem. There's always a reason why DPF blocked. Is it because you're not driving the car properly in the sense of, you know, long enough journeys? Is it because you've got a problem elsewhere? So you kind of really need to find that out first. If it's completely blocked, you'll have to take it off and try and clean it, but be careful what you clean it with, because you will strip everything out of it. A DPF is designed to last the life of the vehicle, and DPFs only block because there's either something wrong or you're just not driving it necessarily correctly in the sense of long journeys.
Just asked, how's the Mercedes?
How's the Mercedes? Yeah, it's all right. It's going. I had to replace. I did another video on replacing the clutch slave cylinder, but apart from that, I have a 2008 Vector. Oh, what's the time? Oh, okay. 1.950 horsepower. When it's cold, no power until going up to third gear. The turbo kicks in. Is there any codes on that? Is there any engine lights or anything?
I don't.
Have I been to Normandy beaches? No, I haven't.
I haven't had it. Yeah.
Where are they? What happened in Normandy? What happened in Normandy in the 40s? World War II? No codes when plugged in. Was that the BMW Vectra? Have you gone? You can't go in OBD2 data with them Opals. They don't like it. You have to go into manufacturer specific because they just don't like it. You will find a code then if there is a problem, and if you can find that code, I'll be able to let you know, because otherwise it's just a guess. It could be loads of things. You could have a vacuum leak. You could have, well, a vacuum leak is kind of possible, and when it heats up, when it heats up, it closes. You know, you could have a hole in your intake. There's loads of reasons, but if you go into manufacturer specific in your scan tool, you will find a code.
I don't have my guitar with me.
Yeah, his guitar's at home, Mark.
I might have videos coming up soon though, about Christmas songs.
Oh yes, Joe. I didn't recognise your name there yet. No problem. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know, and I'll do my best. I should have bought your guitar again. Find out a few tunes. What's the next song you're going to learn?
Probably a Christmas song.
Song. What about Noddy Older, Christmas song? That's a good song.
Is it easy?
I don't know, I can't play it. Yeah, your scan tool will, well, you know, a lot of scan tools do have it, but Opals / Vauxhalls don't like OBD2 data. Yeah, temperature sensor is a good one, possibility, but if you have live readings, you can check the temperature sensor quite easy. Have the snap-on guy bringing it into me this week. How much was it, Gavin? Or how much did he tell you it was? Where is it? You mean this one? You mean that one?
Yeah, could you recommend a good scan tool for Nissan Note Mark II?
It depends how much money you want to spend, Colin. Helga, how's things? I'm still waiting for you to cook me something and send it in the post.
My scan tool only has GM, not open or Vauxhall.
You're going to have to get someone with a scan tool that has Vauxhall, but just because with live reading, live data and a code, it's going to be a lot easier rather than trying to guess, because there could be 101 reasons why you're having that problem. Could be a simple case of a temperature sensor, could be a simple case of an air leak, you know, or then you might have other issues. Emissions check. We do have emissions check, yeah. About 100 to 150 quid. You see, the thing is, I don't really know a lot about the really cheap scan tools because I don't particularly use them. I've done a couple of videos on cheap scan tools. The top one. Yeah, we're all ready for Christmas, more or less.
This is about the giveaway, isn't it?
Yeah, this was part of the giveaway. I did a video on that, and that's not bad. That's around the money you want to spend. This does ABS and airbags, but for that sort of money, you won't really get any bi-directional controls. Unless you want to go for, you can, that's another draw. You can get, if you've got a laptop, which most people do now, to be fair, if you want some bi-directional controls, you can get the Delphi one, but you need the laptop for that. That's in and around that money too, and you do get a little more. But for that money, you're not going to be able to do everything, so just bear that in mind. Even if you spend thousands on one, you still cannot do everything, so yeah.
I'm guessing we're talking about Vauxhall.
Same car has a hydraulic lift. Noisy hydraulic lift is on these tunes or clean.
This one's talking about
Right.
Vauxhall.
Yeah. And it just depends what, it's hard because depending where you are in the world, you can get that EDT cleaning, and that will clean your engine. I'm thinking of getting one. So that can save that problem without having to dismantle your engine to change the lifters. It could just be the oil hasn't been changed often enough. See, it's difficult with them kind of questions because the car is not in front of me. If you can't, there is kind of a thing where you do need to smell it, touch it, and see it. And if I can't do that, it's very difficult to answer some questions without having the right data in front of me, because otherwise I'll just be sending you around in circles. That's the one. He says if I go with it, he could do it for 12. Is that 1,200 plus that? No problem, Colin. 1,200 for what? That's not bad though. Mine was more than that. But then I'm in euros, and you get ripped off when you buy a thing in Ireland.
It's that long. Yeah.
No, I had the kettle on, but no, it's not on yet. Yeah, I just don't want to lead you down the wrong path. I'd say it's a pretty simple fix because your engine runs well when it's warm. So it could be temperature sensor related, it could be intake leak or something along them lines. But without having live data and stuff, I just don't want to lead you down the wrong path. But if you can get me a code, I should be able to have you some code, you know. Look at the link up again. I can only really say on that, Joe, Autel, just because I haven't used the new launch. So I don't know. I can't really answer that properly because I haven't used the new launch. I've kind of messed around with the Autel a little bit, but I haven't used the new launch, so unfortunately I can't really say anything about that. That's not a bad price, Gavin. Mine was more than that, but then mine was more than that when the euro was really weak and the sterling was strong, so that maybe had something to do with it. And there we go. Is Santa going to bring me new tools? I don't know. It depends. I need to hide some. Any comments / experience in the new snap on Zeus? My boss brought us on it. I've only heard about it. Oh, here you go, 69. I've only heard about the Zeus. I haven't used it. From what I've been told, it just can't tell you how to fix a car. I wouldn't believe that for a second. Wouldn't believe it for a second. It'll just go through changing parts and eventually it'll be right. So I don't know. I don't think it's the hype all about it is as good as they say. Typical Snap-on, just ridiculously expensive. I don't know. I haven't used it, but that's all I can really say about it. I know it gives you some kind of like a tree of what to do, but you can't really go off that because every car is different.
Something doesn't I'm sure how the tools are printing.
Ask Rob about that, Mark. Bigger toolbox. You always need a bigger toolbox. Always. Always need a bigger toolbox. Sean's put his LinkedIn to his channel on the chat there, so everyone subscribe to him. Trying to get him up to 100 subs. Yeah, I must admit I do use it a lot just because you have the 2-channel scope and it's quick. Like if I was to put that on to the scope, you can see bang, 2-channel scopes up straight away. And that's what I like about it. It's really, really quick. Now, obviously you do have a small screen. You can't see a lot of detail, but if you're just doing, you know, quick, simple things, like what I use it a lot for is relative compression tests. Test with this very, very quickly. And it does Bluetooth, just pass me the virus. It does Bluetooth to the bigger Snap-on machines. So if you do have one of the bigger ones, the Varus or the Edge or the Zeus, whatever, it does Bluetooth to that. Oh, this is for sale, by the way, people. You want to buy it, let me know.
Yay!
Built-in parts cannon. Yeah, that's what it is. Certainly a built-in parts cannon.
Or 70.
Oh, 70 subs. Nice. How many did you start with?
I started the stream with 61 subscribers.
61, there you go. Over 2007 Ford Focus Mark II 1.8 TDCi. Every now and then, maybe 1 in 10 times. It's a long time. Any idea? Oh, that's again. When was it serviced last? When were the heater plugs changed last? And apart from that, is it okay? It could just be you could have a dodgy connection on your heater plug. You could have dodgy heater plugs. You could have slightly blocked filter. They will be after Christmas, yeah. I still need to send out them ones. I haven't even sent out them ones yet. I'll be doing that next week. There are a few things I need to send out. Huh? All right. Did you say hi to him? Why did you say hi to him then?
Hi to you guys.
He said hi to you. Robinson's Auto. How you doing? Any more questions? We have to go soon because we've got to get back. Any questions for me or for Sean? Your battery is you know, do you leave anything on? Is your battery a bit dodgy? Have you got your battery checked? Because if your battery's a bit dodgy, and let's say for some reason you leave your headlights on for a few minutes or something, it could be as simple as a dodgy battery. Even your connections, try your connections. Do a drop test between your battery and your connections with your multimeter and see if there's any voltage drop test. It could be bad connections on your battery. It could be as simple as that.
Alfonso, whose next video are you talking about?
What?
What's your next video about?
Oh, what's your next video about? I can't remember because I've got loads ready to come up and I can't remember which one's ready. I can't remember off the top of my head. Where's this last scrolls? I need to put all that stuff back now. Look at the state of that. We do have some. Terry, how you doing? I sent you a message on Hangouts, Terry. Go and check it out. You'll understand when you see it. I don't want to give too much away. I did get this. This is really cool. Let me be careful it doesn't all fall off. There we go. This is a Bluetooth chassis ear for detecting, you know, vibrations, noises, and stuff like that. I will be doing a video on that very shortly. Just found that Delphi Scan 250. Yeah, you know, if you've got a laptop, Colin, I would go for that. It doesn't do everything, but no scan tool does, but it'll certainly do a lot. No problem, Terry.
Use a flow back from filter maybe. It's been set for a day or so.
Also, it only does that as it's been sat for a day or so. Or is that someone saying, oh, if yeah, Simon, that's a great idea, actually. If it has been sat, it could be a fuel delivery problem. Wasn't main dealer, no, I'd never worked in a main dealer. Good afternoon, 125 SM, Sean's Auto Repair, how you doing? Yeah, you definitely won't be, you won't be upset with that, I must admit.
Error reports I'm getting on the BMW apart from DPF are 3F57, charge air pressure controller, and 4191 charge air pressure actuator. On the actuator on the DPF front, it does about 400 / 500 miles a week and has 120,000 miles.
Well, if it does between 400 to 500 miles, but what sort of driving is that? Is that kind of like motorway driving, or is that a lot of town driving? Because that has something to do with it. I'm not sure of the air pressure control valve code off the top of my head.
Hello, Dashcat Nissan UK 1990.
How you doing? I've got your phone on my phone. Get messages. I need to read them. What, 71? Yeah, you definitely need to look at the other codes. Just make sure if your air pressure, check your pipes. Actually, thinking about it.
72.
Oh, very good. Check your pipes from your DPF filter. Make sure the pipes aren't blocked. Because if the airline pipes are blocked, it won't do what it's supposed to do. So you want to check, because they do get blocked, and then they can cause. That's what can cause a problem with DPF. So make sure there's no leaks in the pipes. Make sure they're not blocked. Take them off. And if you've got some live scan data, what you can do, very easy, disconnect your pipes, connect a vacuum gauge to it, pressurize it, and then you can see if it drops. If not, if it doesn't move, you know you've got a problem with the actual module, or you've got a problem with your pipe being blocked. And it could just be a very simple case of taking off the pipe, blowing the pipe out, clearing the crap, obviously cleaning your DPF, and then you could be fine again. So you want to check that.
Cool. Thank you, Leon and Sean. Hope to be in touch about the VRS. May I ask the price in US dollars?
The problem is, Joe, this one won't be any good for you as it's UK. It's the UK version. So you would be better off buying one over there with the American and domestic side of things built in. You can get the software put onto that, but you would find it cheaper buying one over there with the American software already loaded in. It will save you money. Hi, Nick. yeah, I would try that, Tommy, first anyway. Check them lines, because if them lines are blocked, you're definitely going to have problems. Just cancel that. We'll have to go in a few minutes, guys. Have you?
2007 Automotive difficulties.
Just 1 second, let me read the top one. Have you worked on an old American muscle car? I haven't worked on the old American muscle cars, no, but they are very basic, so it wouldn't be a problem. They wouldn't be setting the world alight with technology inside them anyway, that's a fact. I like the older muscle cars, but yeah, they're not exactly technical advanced. What's he saying? You need to get some live data and actually see what's going on, because don't just keep changing parts. See if you've got any error codes and see, you know, again, you could have a fuel problem, so you can check your fuel pumps and stuff like that. There's loads. That's a difficult question to ask, because there's thousands of reasons it could be doing that. But live data, fuel pressure, get your fuel pressures and stuff like that. Do the easiest things first. So if you've got no kind of scan tools or anything like that, there's a few easy things to do first. Make sure you're getting air, so make sure your air system isn't blocked. Make sure you're getting compression, and again, very easy to check compression. Make sure you're getting spark, and make sure you're getting fuel. If you're getting all them, then it's electrical. If you're not getting spark or you're not getting fuel, then you can do the simple, easy things first. You don't particularly need scan tools for that. Do the easy things first, and then kind of go from there. Because if an engine's not getting fuel, spark, or air, it's not going to run. It's as simple as that.
Which tool do you use for Chrysler?
Which tool do you use for what?
Chrysler?
Which tool? We don't really get Chrysler here. Snap-on, I think, does. No, I think my Foxwell does Chrysler, but I haven't seen a Chrysler in years here, so we don't have to really worry about that. Missed some comments, I think. No problem, Tommy. That I would certainly check that first, because them pipes can clog up. And if you could put new DPFs in all the time, if them pipes are clogged, not going to do any good. No problem, Christopher. I think we're going to have to go. How many subs have we got now? Yeah, I have to go. Any more questions before we go, people? 73. Peekaboo, how you doing? I just want to put your link up one more time. For one last chance to subscribe to you. Any more questions, people? I suppose it depends how drunk you are, Malcolm. If you think about it, the universe is too big not to be aliens existed. Now, I don't mean little green men with big black eyes. I do have to leave, unfortunately, soon. Very drunk. Truth is out there. Please, what's the name of your multimeter? Which multimeter? I have like 10 of them. Huh? Which multimeter? I have loads of them. Too many. What I'm having for dinner? I'm having a roast dinner. It's a proper dinner. Roast tates. What else am I having? Yorkshire puddings. Ah, Yorkshire puddings. When I get it sorted, I can't. Yeah, no problem, Tommy. Just let me know if you take me on. Get me on Facebook, because it's just very difficult to kind of answer that type of question with me not seeing the car. But if you contact me on Facebook, if you check the lines and stuff and they're all fine, I kind of tell you some other things where to go. But with that, it is kind of difficult without me physically seeing it. Yes, everyone give me a thumbs up. And also Sean. Sunday dinner. Yes, and I'm getting messages I have to ring about. We've literally got 4 minutes left, people. 4 minutes left, so we have to go. I'm not a big fan of shepherd's pie.
I absolutely love shepherd's pie.
I don't like it. Wyatt, how you doing?
Got an error code P055 or P050 vehicle speed sensor. A is that on the gearbox?
For what vehicle, Lee?
What is the best way to bleed really? E3631.
Oh, BMWs are a nightmare to bleed. What year is it? Because I'm trying to think, there's two ways of doing it. If you've got the, can't think off the top of my head, if you've got the expansion bottle at the left hand side of the engine as you're looking in, there's a little valve to take off, but only unscrew that once it is cold. If you try and heat that up, or you heat the engine up and unscrew it, it will break. So make sure the engine is cold, undo that, start the engine and kind of wait for it for the bubbles to come out, and when it starts flowing water, put that back down. But you have to be very careful because they break. And I think there's another, depending on which one you've got, on the right hand side of the engine, there's a pipe with a hole, there's a pipe with a little thing on near your thermostat. I can't remember which BMWs have that off the top of my head, but they're a nightmare to bleed.
Yeah, I started on 62 subscribers, now I'm on 73.
Nice one.
I don't have much on my channel. I have 2 live streams. There's a song on my guitar.
If you go to his channel, you will see Simples.
Yeah, the link is a bit on the comments.
Yeah, we'll have a nice Sunday dinner. Thank you. Right, people, we're going to have to go.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Get out of here, lock up, tidy up, all that crap. You can say bye.
Bye. My channel name is Thunderstrike. If you search up Thunderstrike on YouTube, it'll be the first channel.
Just quickly put it back up on there and then we'll go.
Yeah, this is
BMWs are a nightmare, yes, I agree with you, Simon. Absolutely nightmare. I'd never own one, but I like to see them coming in because, yeah, they always need something. Always need something. Quick. Why don't you just copy the whole thing on the top?
That's literally the link in.
As soon as he's put this link in, we're going to bag her off. Anytime today. Right, people, thanks ever so much for coming in. You said we'll just quickly do this. There you go, there's his link. So everyone subscribe to him. We're trying to get him to 100 subscribers. And yeah, so I appreciate everyone coming and watching. And yeah, that's it. So look, that's it. It's sorted.
Sorted. Thank you.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.